Okay, now this is not so much a tutorial, this is more of sort of like an explanation video. I'm going to be going through some of the common errors you might come up against when you're programming in PHP. Most of them are self-explanatory, and I'd say a good 50% of errors that you do come up against are when you either don't see something you've accidentally typed or you've missed something out. Everyone does it at one point by sort of missing either like a semicolon, adding like an extra bracket in, something like that, you know. But what I'm going to do is I've created a few pages here, and they're basically some of the errors you might come up against. There are more, this isn't exhaustive, this will just cover some of the basics. And I've got them up in my context editor, ready to sort of take you through each error in turn. So the first one I'm going to explain is this HTML. And I use a lot of HTML embedded in our echo command here. And really, if I come to run this page here, let's just run it, HTML, we get this error here, and it's a parse error. And we get this thing here, and you need to really look out for this, expecting either a comma or a semicolon. And it gives us a line number, so we're always returned a line number when we get one of these parse errors. And it said here, let me just, line 5. So if we come down to line 5, you can see that here it says line 5, column 19, we get all the information. Line 5 is here. Now, there isn't anything really visually wrong with this, but the way PHP interprets at sort of like a command like echo is we get the starting point of our speech mark here and our ending here. So this is our start and this will be our end. Now really what's happening here is because we're embedding HTML, we're using speech marks in between, and this means that the echo command will be read as starting here and ending here. I think I explained this in my echo function tutorial. Okay, so the reason being we're getting the error on this line is because this is the first occurrence of a speech mark where it shouldn't be. Now technically PHP hasn't picked up that it shouldn't be here, but what it's saying is expecting a semicolon, because as you know, when we end an echo we use a semicolon, so really what it's looking for is that there. But then even after this becomes gobbledygook, it becomes absolute rubbish. So what we need to do, instead we need to use our single quotation marks, and you can see if I was to save that out, we'll now get an error on line 6 because the error's come down a bit. That changes to 6, so you know that you need to change something on line 6 or near a line 6. You'll see some of the other ones we'll be doing don't actually return the actual line error. And there we go. So we've got our little HTML code echoed out there. Obviously no functionality, but we've covered that. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is the semicolon. This is one other common error. If we go back here and click on semicolon, we've got here parse error expecting a semicolon. Now why are we expecting a semicolon? This code looks okay. We've got a variable here, Alex, a variable here, Alex. We're comparing this variable. We need a double equals in there. And if this variable is true, we're going to echo out this. Now, if you look at the line number here, line 9, so obviously this is very simple code. If it was a bit more complex and you came to line 9, this is in fact line 9. Now looking at that, there is nothing at all wrong with that line. But in a way there is something wrong with that line, because what we have is the way PHP interprets a page is it's on a single line basis. So the code we see here is the same as that. That would actually compile and work. But because this is down here, because it's the same as up here, we're still expecting a semicolon after that. If we did this, this is still valid code, so I've added a semicolon there, although to the human eye and visually it should be there. We can bring it down to there, so let me just rerun this code. There you go. So we get a successful page. Obviously if I were to put that up there, that would also be valid code, as would that. So PHP doesn't work in so much so, see that's worked, so much so of a there's an error on this line basis. It's saying that the current line can't be run, maybe because of an error on the previous line. So because of this error on this line without this semicolon, this line cannot run, therefore the line has been returned as an error on line 9, as you can see there. So that's two quite basic errors that we've covered. If you ever get things like that, just check. Don't necessarily check the line that the error was returned on. Check before, check after. Oh, not really after, but check before, and see if you can fix anything up. Just scan through every single character if you have to, because I get a lot of emails of people that have just made mistakes like that. And I don't mind helping people. I mean, sometimes people can't see it, so please don't feel like you don't need to ask me for help. Feel free. But make sure you check your work once, twice, 3 times before you do send me anything. Okay, so in the next part of this tutorial, we're going to be covering the rest of the error pages. I'm sorry, and yeah, I'll see you in the next part. Thank you.